Hey, what's going on, guys? This TerrenceRe. Back at you with another stock market update. Um, s- this video should have been out, but hey, things happen. I've been trying to work through some sound issues, and I got it figured out. And so this is actually the third time shooting this video. So we're gonna keep it short, sweet, simple, and get right to the point. Reason why this video is called Nasdaq Impulse. I got the NDX up. Normally, I'm showing you the SPX, which is the S&P 500. The NDX is the equivalent to that, but it's instead of it being the S&P 500, it's the Nasdaq 100, which is the option market for the Nasdaq. So you can't own this. You can only trade options in it. And if you look over here, if today, if you didn't know, the Nasdaq had a big red candle right here, right? This is one of those engulfing candles that I'm talking about. We're going to do a little bit, some candlestick beginners training real quick. This gap down here and then this one red candle took out this low on this green candle, this red candle, and it's right here at the low of this candle. So it's basically engulfed 3 candles, almost 4 candles. So when you get something like that, that's kind of like that's kind of like showing you some instances like, hey, this is a beginning of a down move, right? Possibly. Now, couple that with some other indicators, with some technical analysis stuff on my stochastics. I got a crossover, right? Got a crossover on the stochastic with it being overbought on the stochastic. And if we were to pull up my MACD, I have divergence on the MACD. You see right here, you got like so, remember? So on the momentum oscillator, we got a lower low, and we on price action, we were continuing to get higher highs. So price action was going up, momentum had beginning to turn. Now, so we got all of the little basics of the setup now, which is why you come to my channel, is now let's get into the particulars. The Nasdaq 100 is mainly tech stocks for the most part, right? Or, if I were to pull these stocks up over here, the ones that I know, I don't know them all, but if you like, here you go, Intuit was down on the day, CrowdStrike, big red candle, Adobe, not as big a red candle, but because it's such a big stock, $500 stock, it was down $10 a day. So I just clicked on a few just to show you. And if you look over here on my watch list, Meta is also, now I did a video on Meta talking about the wedge in Meta. Now I think I took if you go find my video on Meta where I'm talking about the wedge, and I actually have this channeled out. So ideally what we're going to look at, what we want to see in Meta is we want to see Meta break out of this little area, right? So I wouldn't get short in Meta just yet, but I just wanted to show you that Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Tesla, Netflix, Nvidia, AMD, those stocks, those heavy hitters are in the NASDAQ. So with us seeing the NASDAQ have a down day, we also see a down day in those stocks. Now, let's look at the triple Qs, which is the ETF. Now, I already got levels up. That's why you're here. We're going to talk about what levels I have, what I think may happen. Let's go to It's crazy because it's like the third time me shooting this video, and I finally got the sound right. My voice is cracking. Been saying the same thing over and over again, but it's all right. Let's go to intraday. I'm gonna go back and forth. This is the Nasdaq futures again. Now I have levels in the Nasdaq futures. If you don't, a lot of people don't trade futures or anything like that. It's a big product. But I'm gonna show you the equivalent of the Nasdaq futures, which is why I got the Qs up over here. So we'll go back there. Now, I got this level down here. I think that the Nasdaq futures, based upon my analysis, I think that it'll end up somewhere around in here. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but being as that this all happened right here, this was today, right here. So that was actually Thursday. I mean, excuse me, that was Wednesday, and then right here is Thursday. So, but we could get a pull back up into here for Friday, chop around, and then maybe over the weekend we could get the rest of it, or we could wake up tomorrow when the stock market open tomorrow and it could be down there, right? But this is where I think it'll end up, and you could trade that. We're gonna go back to the Qs. You can trade that by trading the Qs, the QQQ. And you can see basically got the same setup in the Qs. Once it pulls up, you can see got similar, it looks a little similar. Now with the net, like I said, the futures will run all night. So you don't have as many holes because you're going to see the overnight extended session. And so we could get something down into this area like so. So I expect that the Nasdaq will continue to go down over the next couple of days or day or so. So we get that right around in this area. And then at that point, then we may see it, cool off. So be careful, guys. We should, if you've been following the channel, you're all over this. You're all over it because I've already had, let's look at Tesla. Look at it. We already knew that it got right up around our final level. And with it getting up around our final level, we was expecting some type of, I was telling people, you should be taking profit. And if you don't want to take profit, then, you can sell calls against your existing position to lower, reduce your deltas in this position if you own it. Same thing. We're going to take a look at NVIDIA. The same thing, right up there at it. Netflix, right up there at it. I've been calling it. So Netflix, man, for me, I wouldn't touch Netflix right now. I'm not thinking about touching Netflix right now. I wouldn't touch Netflix until I wouldn't even think about it to maybe right around 380. Shoot, yeah, you could get all the way down here and fill this gap right around 340, right? So I'm not even thinking. See, you got divergence. Yeah, I wouldn't. You made your money in Netflix. You should have already made your money. You should be up at this point. I'm not saying that this is a big hole, so you could chop and then go higher. I just believe in looking at something else. If you, I got another stock that I did see today that's not in the Nasdaq. That's in the banks. Morgan Stanley. I like this position. I like this trade. Or this. Take that back. I like this setup. Right. I got a bull flag. Gap up. Look at this big green candle. It already had earnings, so you don't have to worry about earnings, and it has low IV rank. So you're not gonna get a whole lot selling options in here. It might be a better play to just own the stock, maybe do some cover calls, sell calls against it. I do think it'll get higher. I would much rather see it pull back into here, maybe right somewhere around this level, to try to get long it. I do think we'll see a little resistance right here. May see a little chop, and hopefully you can get a little pullback into here, right around 90, 91. Maybe you can get long in there, something like that. I much rather the banks have looked strong. You can look over here. You can see the XLF, and the XLF was green on the day, which is the financials. The banks are looking strong right now. So, which is one of the reasons why you didn't see the S&P 500 really fall a lot. Now you do have a doji candle sitting up here, right? This is a nice doji. So this, when you got to pay attention to, that's why it's good to not look at a whole bunch of stocks. Have your nice little basket of stocks and understand how they correlate to one another, and then just watch those. Because if you got too many that you're looking at, a lot of times you can miss little small things like this right here. It's one of the ones when you start seeing dojis like this, or well, look at Netflix, or you see something like this, there go another doji at a resistance level, which everyone is following this channel should have seen this. Once you start seeing stuff like that, those are like, these are close your position type candlesticks. Same thing here. Look, you get something like that, then you get something down right around in here like that. Once you start seeing dojis and engulfing candles, big candles like that, right? These are candles where you start to look at, like, you noticing them and be like, hey, this is where I can make some money, or this is where I can take some profit, especially when you got extended moves. And when you got extended moves and you got momentum decelerating, once you see momentum start to tail off, it's time to start paring down. Taking profit, taking something off of the table, reducing exposure, and then really managing your position. You don't have to bail on it completely. I haven't turned bearish overall. It's just that right now we in the middle in the Nasdaq of a down move. Now you look at the Dow. The Dow was up, and a lot of those bank stocks are in the Dow. J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs. You can see it's right up there at a level, and this is crazy how it's right there at one. Now it can get. I do think the Dow can go higher. It's just that some of the stocks that's in the Nasdaq are in the Dow, right? Apple is in the Dow. Let's pull up the stocks that are in the Dow. Just want to make sure I don't want to misspeak. Pull up Dow Jones Industrial Average. You can see the majority. We got a nice mixture in here, but you see Boeing is in there, which is why I have Boeing over here anyway to watch. JP Morgan, the banking stock, was up. But if you see Microsoft is in the Dow. So Microsoft down, Apple, another tech, Microsoft and Apple are both in the Nasdaq. I think this is Intel. So Intel is in the Dow and in the Nasdaq. So these particular stocks, could wear on the Dow. So that's why I don't know if I would hold positions in the ETFs, in the Dow, or in the SPY, or in IWM until the Nasdaq gets done with its correction. I'd like to see it get down. Let's see what happens once it gets down around this range right here, right? Is it gonna come here, then chop around, and then give us a bigger move to the downside? If that happens, then I think the whole market can go down, right? So we just gotta be mindful, and be able to be active, be able to get in and out of positions, right? Don't put nothing on too big where you can't take a loss. Be able to take that loss and move on to the next one. Make sure it's a small loss, and then get ready for the next move. Say, hey guys, with that, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video, and stay tuned. And I don't know a lot of people out there giving levels like me. So, like I said, make sure you hit the like button. It's free. Helps boost me up in the algorithm and get more eyes on my videos. With that, guys, I'm out. Peace.